Civil law, for our purposes, encompasses every aspect of the law that's not criminal. We'll briefly define civil law in this screencast. While it would seem peace officers are only concerned with enforcing criminal law, civil law plays an important part of our lives. It includes matters such as a constable serving an eviction notice, an officer explaining why a child custody dispute isn't necessarily a police matter, a law enforcement agency defending itself and its officers against a civil lawsuit brought in federal court, a protective order in a family violence case, or something that seems to be fairly common among peace officers, divorce. Civil law is something you will probably deal with more often than you think. Civil law defines the personal and property rights of individuals. It is the means by which an individual is afforded the right to seek redress or to prevent a wrong. Human beings have a natural inclination for revenge, for lack of a better word. If somebody does something wrong to you, your natural tendency might be to do wrong back to them. If citizens didn't have an opportunity to seek compensation for a non-criminal slight or the ability to prevent something bad from happening through civil law in the court system, anarchy and lawlessness might be the only way. So let's think of it in these terms. This isn't the Wild West anymore, or society where we necessarily accept the concept of, if you kill one of my family members, I'm going to kill one of yours. That's pretty much not acceptable to us. Civil law is in the interests of social order. We rely on it to provide people an avenue for seeking revenge without resorting to blood feuds or free-for-all gun battles and fistfights. So civil law provides a citizen a means to seek redress or prevent a wrong. Therefore, civil law defines the legal significance of public and private acts, acts that are not identified as criminal. Thus, it regulates conduct over non-criminal but not necessarily appropriate acts. For instance, if I manage a store and I don't put up a danger wet floor sign and you slip and fall, you've suffered an injury. But the act of not putting the sign out isn't criminal. There's nothing in the penal code which makes it illegal to not put up a wet floor sign. But still, there's possibly something not acceptable about my lack of action in some way, particularly if I knew I needed to put out the sign, but just didn't do it because I was lazy. This is where civil law comes into play, by allowing you to file a lawsuit against me. Civil law is how you, as the person who slipped and fell and hurt themselves, is able to seek redress for your injuries and make it so next time I put the sign out. A civil trial doesn't result in a guilty or not guilty finding, but liability is what is determined. So, instead of going to prison or paying a fine as in criminal law, we correct behavior and compensate victims through the award of monetary damages. If a judge or jury finds my actions negligent in not putting out the wet floor sign, then they may award you as the plaintiff monetary damages. I have to pay you money. Hitting my pocketbook is a sure way for you to obtain compensation for your medical bills and make me put the sign out next time. In addition to monetary damages, civil law may also result in injunctions, which is a judge's order to start or stop doing something, or through declarations, where a judge determines a particular situation is unacceptable and must be changed. We most frequently see declarations in correctional settings. In our example of you slipping and falling at my store and you filing a lawsuit, the type of suit you have filed is called a tort. Torts are, according to Cochran's Law Lexicon, 5th edition, any one of various, legally recognized, private injuries or wrongs. When you file a tort, you are alleging someone has done something wrong to you that may or may not be criminal in nature as well.